Hello and welcome to Triumph Ministries. I am your host, Ramona Long, along with my co-hosts, Sherry Watts and Denise Montgomery. Our first subject today is going to be about homelessness, and we're going to let Lady Montgomery teach you that and tell you some things that you may really be interested in knowing that you probably didn't know before.
Well, to begin with, ladies, how's everybody today?
We're great.
That homelessness has been a subject that's been close to my heart for a number of years. Anybody that knows me knows that I have a heart for the homeless. And like my friend Austin says, I have a radar. I can find them when nobody else can. And here recently, well, as all of my life, but I noticed when I go to work in the morning, I would go down and I noticed this probably nobody noticed them but me, but there was this huge tower plant. It was just like a big tower, you know, the radar signals. Right. And it was just a small opening, but when I looked, I kept seeing people dart in and dart out, and dart in and dart out. One morning, I just stopped. It was a whole little tent city.
Really?
Living under this tower. Because the city of Dallas has displaced them. They don't let them live under the bridges anymore. Right. So they had to go somewhere, and I don't understand why the city didn't realize you just displaced them. They're going to move here, and they're going someplace else. But there were women, and there were children, and there were men, and they were just darting in and out of this little opening, and they were coming back out. And when I stopped going home that day, there was about 10 tents that they had made behind these shrubs. Wow. So we have to realize homelessness in Dallas County as well as the nation is really becoming a problem.
I was noticing when you had said that about the tents, when I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking, okay, they moved them, the tent people.
Yes.
And it's all about aesthetics. They wanted downtown to look good, and they're trying to rebuild downtown. And
yes.
they knew that the homelessness would draw people, make people afraid to be downtown. Yes, right. And so then you find, okay, like you said, what's going to happen to them?
They just move someplace else.
And if they're anything like normal, and what goes on is they move somewhere else, and as they move somewhere else, then other people just keep moving, and the people do a new ordinance and ordinance.
Yes.
They ordinance, but they have to go somewhere.
And nobody's doing anything to stop the problem. First of all, let's look at, okay, why are you homeless?
Right.
Now, we know there are a number of causes.
Right, absolutely.
There are a number of causes. But when you look at it, when I read up on the statistics, most women are homeless because of due to domestic violence.
Right.
Because when you got to get out of a situation, you're not trying to get your TV and all this stuff. You just got to get out of that situation.
Right.
And the city of Dallas, you don't find many women with children. Now, you're going to find women that are homeless, but you won't find women and children that are homeless.
Why is that?
Because Dallas will not allow it.
What do you mean they wouldn't allow
Dallas
it?
will not allow it. They were going to, a social worker or somebody is going to come through there and pick up that woman and that child.
Okay, when they pick them up, then what happens?
They take them to a shelter. They take them to, there are so many women's shelters out there. And because, especially if she's been a victim of trafficking or domestic violence. So they'll take them to a shelter, especially the kids, because the kids can't be out there. But they don't do the same for, it's like men and women that are without children. They have a choice. If you want to go to a shelter, that's fine. And if you don't want to go to a shelter, that's fine too. It's not that they're not available, but women and children cannot stay out on the street.
But when you say homeless women and children, will they risk losing their kids because they're on the street? Would that be considered neglect or?
Well, as I said, suppose she's in a situation where this is domestic violence. She had to get out.
Okay.
Okay. Or she was evicted. Maybe she couldn't pay the rent. They won't automatically take your children. Basically, like I said, there are shelters. Dallas Life Foundation has a wonderful program where they'll room you and your child.
Together?
Together.
Okay.
They have a shelter, and I think they can take up, I don't want to be wrong, but I think they can take up to 30 women. And I go down there on a regular basis, like every other month or so, and the woman is housed in the room with her child. And you stay there for so many weeks, and they take you through the program, and they help you find a job. There's another shelter, I'm so sorry, it's over off of about near Parkland. I went over there in November. They have a program where you come in and you get to stay 6 months. They help you get a car, they help you get housing. So there are places for women and children. But we don't have enough places for single men and single women. That's
when I had looked into the homelessness, and you're right, there's a shelter in Arlington. I can't remember. I think it was on Division. I really don't know where I was. But when we used to go visit there, they would be homeless and they would allow them to come into the shelter. But at a certain time, women, children, men, whoever had to leave and then come back, especially on the weekends.
Yes.
So what do they do? I mean, what do
Okay,
they do?
the Osh Street Shelter downtown Dallas, you have to be in, I hope I have the time right, you have to be in between 4 and 7, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, they only have a limited amount of beds.
Right.
But that next morning you up, and you
Right,
got
you
to
have
be
to
out
go.
of there. You got to be out of there. Now, they have a place where they can keep, you know, how you see the homeless carrying everything they own on their back.
Right.
Well, they have a place where you can put your belongings up on a shelf. So if you need to go out and you're trying to look for a house or you're trying to look for housing during the day, they can keep your belongings. But if you don't come back within a limited amount of time, they have to throw your stuff out. They can't keep it. So you have a tendency, you could lose everything you own if you can't get back in time, because they can't store everything for every homeless person. So then there's the bridge downtown. You can come in, you can get, there's the Salvation Army. But like I said, you have to get up and then you have to be out by a certain time, and then you can get the chance to come back.
Okay, when I was thinking, you saying they have to get up and go. Is it to go find work, or
You
Just gotta go.
You just got to go. You can't stay in there all day long and lay down in the beds all day, because they're going to feed you that evening, and they can't keep you all day long. So you have to get up, and I'm assuming you got to get up and go about your business and do what you need to do, and maybe whatever it is you need to do that day to deal with it, and then you come back that night.
okay? I want to go on.
The thing that bothered me about one of the shelters I did some volunteer work at, and the women that had children, they wanted those women to go find jobs, but they had to take their kids with them. How many people are going to hire you when you have your kids hanging off you?
Thank God that's not the case anymore.
I hope not.
No,
'cause
that's
that
not
has
the
been
case.
a while
That's true,
ago.
because they do have where they can keep the kids.
They have-
and if
Right.
you have school-age kids, see, with us being in
Yeah.
education,
Right.
one of the things that many people don't understand is homelessness is that kids, the district is responsible for those
Yes, they
kids,
are.
even if you're moving, you're transient.
Yes.
They're responsible to get those kids to school because they want to have one consistent thing in the kid's life.
Yes.
And if it's the same school, the district that you moved from is responsible for getting those kids back and forth from to the shelter and to school. So that would be the one thing. Because homelessness, if we look at it, it really wreaks havoc up on the kids' emotional
does.
state,
Yes, it does.
social state,
Absolutely.
and you're constantly moving around, you're transient. You don't build relationships, which is what we say kids need anyway.
Yes.
Even though some of their friends we wish they didn't have, they need some friends. They need
do.
someone that can relate to them, and this
You need to
is a
see
barrier.
that same teacher every day.
Yes.
You need to see some friends every day. That builds stability, as you said. And Dallas does have a school for the homeless.
Right.
They do.
Oh, they do?
But if we were to go back and look at the situation with homeless, so I already said that women with kids, domestic violence. But the problem is we don't have enough affordable
I
housing.
knew you were going there.
We just don't
do
have
not
affordable
have
housing.
not.
I'm in a house, praise God, been there for years. But when I hear people paying $1,200 and $1,300 and $1,400 a month for a one-bedroom apartment, but you're not making but $10 an hour.
Right.
How can you afford that?
You can't. That's the problem right there. And then you don't want to move everybody in the house with you because they limit how many people can be there if you're
Yes.
renting. And chances are, if you can't afford the rent, more than likely you really don't have a house. Or did you see where they went and closed down houses that were substandard? That they
Yes.
were being rented out. They're cheaper. The people were renting them. And you're looking at TV like, why would someone want to live
Right.
in such a squatter place? That's what they could afford.
That's what they could afford.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that Fort Worth is the same
Yes.
issue. You don't have, there are no more $600 and $700 house
No.
payments anymore.
No.
But so the money, the wage hasn't risen to the point where you can afford this now.
Right.
Okay, so you still have certain areas in Dallas, like in West Dallas, you still have the housing projects, and you still have some low income assistance, but basically you don't have enough of it.
And when you say low-income assistance, remember you have to be on a waiting list sometimes to get those vouchers.
Yes.
And I've known some people that say, you know what, in order to get moved up on the waiting list, sometimes you have to go through homelessness, which is sad, but if it's going to get you a roof over your head, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. And then I was listening to, I live next door to a builder, and he says it's not just in the rent market, it's period. He says labor is more expensive now, material is more expensive, and land is more expensive, which is so hard for me to believe, all of this vacant land. But he says land is, so it's a catch-22. If you don't pay the construction workers the money they need to pay, they need to make, then they won't work, and so we're stuck.
Right.
So what did you find out to help us with this homelessness?
Well, basically, like I said, some of the other causes are, you said, unemployment, poverty, low wages. But I found that a lot of it, I wonder, did you guys know that mental illness is a problem?
Yes.
Mental illness is a huge problem.
So what do they do with the? I'm confused about that, because if you're mentally ill, you cannot obviously take care of yourself. So instead of trying to find affordable housing, it seemed like they would put them in a facility that can help them.
What facility?
Exactly, and the VA is so full that if you get an appointment, you have to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well,
VA
that's
is full. Parkland is full.
Really? Oh.
Okay. Parkland, you go, you're going to get stabilized. They're going to put you on your meds. But we already know if you don't have anybody to monitor you and help you take the meds,
you're not going to take them.
Besides,
you don't even know where they are.
If you're homeless, what you going to do with them? So,
and if they give you a housing, what are they going to do with the housing? They have no job. They're mentally unstable.
So a lot of the people that in my visits to the shelter, a lot of them would tell me, my family, they're going to give me a phone. They make sure I have a phone that I can call, but I can't come home. Especially a lot of it is drug abuse.
Yes, drug abuse definitely
drug abuse. They want to make sure I'm okay, but I can't come home.
Right.
So I have to sleep out here on the street, and when I really need something, they can call. I can call, but I can't come home. And when it hurts my heart.
It does, because when you start thinking about, like you told us the other day when we were talking, it's just the grace of God. It is just the grace of God, because if we look at our salary that what God has blessed us with, and we like 2 major catastrophes from having to move with someone, and it's just hard to even think about that. Especially with me having 4 kids, you just thinking, yeah, mine are grown, but you're just thinking, yeah, I could go live with one of them, but
do you want to?
look at my face.
No.
As much as I love them, but it's better than being homeless. I was watching a show last night with Faith, and I forgot, it's a misfortunate events or something. But one of the things he kept saying, this is better than not having a roof over your head. But homelessness is so dangerous. It's very dangerous on the street. It's a lot of violence. Some
especially
people,
for women. Especially for women. Like I said, I do go out, and God is going to make sure I see him.
Yes.
And he's going to make sure I see him. But when you go out and you see older women,
that's what hurt my heart the most, is when you see that the older women are there, and
you go out, and the stores are not going to let you come in and use the restroom.
No.
No. You're not going to be able, now you may can walk in a Walmart or whatever, but you're not going to be able to, I think I'm going to get up this morning and just go to the store and kind of wash out. No, you're not going to do that. So you have to just, you still have bodily functions that you have to take care of. You still got to go to the restroom.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
So you still got to go to the restroom. You don't have no toilet paper.
Right.
So you still got to take care of yourself like everybody else. So that woman is out there by herself, and most of them, they stay in camps with men, but she's still a female.
Yes.
Okay, and she still got to take care of herself as a woman does. And so you're running the risk of being assaulted. So it's nothing to play with. It's not. And
I think that's why you have such a heart for them. You have such a heart for them. And I'm one that believe that if that's the ministry God's called you to, we're here to help and support. But what that does is that makes me look a little deeper. You know, I'm a numbers person. So I looked at it and said, what is the impact if I don't do anything? If I close my eyes and drive down the streets and I see them every day, because, you know, I work in the heart of Fort Worth. And so I see them every day. What is it costing me to just drive down and do nothing? I'm paying anyway.
But we don't think of it like that.
It does, whether we think of it or not,
yeah.
we are paying anyway.
But do you really see that money that they take out of your check every month? You already expect it to come out anyway.
This is true.
Okay, but your taxes are going to go up because the city is going to continue to build shelters. But everybody is not going to. One thing I do want you to realize, everybody out there homeless, they don't want to be in a shelter. Don't think, because I've talked to them, and they go, no, ma'am, I don't want to be in a shelter. There's too many rules. I would just rather stay out here on the street. So I'm really not addressing those people. Homelessness is a way of life.
Right.
I'm talking about those people that do want to come off of the street. Because a lot of them, no, ma'am, I'm good. I'm good. I can do my own thing. I can do what I want to do. And they don't mind. They're there. That's a lifetime. But some of those people out there really don't want to be there. You just a paycheck. Okay, something happened on your job, like the government may be shutting down.
We're not even talking about that on this show. That's a whole nother show.
And the thing about it, I'm sure you're wondering why I haven't said anything about that, because we talked about this over the phone. So I kind of know where I'm at with that. But I mean, we also have to deal with people who are really not homeless, but they're perpetrating.
Right.
And they're walking up on you, soliciting money, this, that, and the other. And that's the reason why people turn a blind eye to people that are homeless.
You're right.
You don't know who's homeless and who isn't. And so that's the only reason. But I have a heart for homeless. That's the reason why I was telling you that people call me all the time. And I do have a heart for the homeless. But my thing is, I'm to the point where I would give money, let them live with me, and I can't do that. I cannot do that. But I have that kind of heart to do that, and that's why I have to kind of back up. But some of the people that I have run across have made a mockery of homelessness to the point where you just don't know who's telling the truth, you know. And
you know what, Mona, that used to bother me as well. But it's like God kept showing them to me. So if I don't do anything else, I'm going to go by and I'm going to pray. And I'm going to pray. And he's going to make sure I go back by there and they're not going to be on that corner.
Right.
Right. And that's what I was saying about when we know that they're there, what we're going to pay anyway with our tax dollars. It's going to help the homeless, period. Because like you said, it's either going to build shelters or it's going to help them get job placements. Either way, we're paying. But what I'm saying is there has to be a way for a person like me that would see a homeless person. I'm not evil in heart or hard-hearted. I just don't notice. But that to be able to do it without throwing money out on the streets when I have a homeless sign. What I do monthly. All of my friends know I collect clothes. Right.
And they're gonna call me, and I'm gonna go pick up the clothes from wherever they are. Clothes, shoes, it doesn't matter. If you call me, I'm gonna go get them. Have gun, we'll travel. I'm going to get them, or you can bring it to me. And I donate. Okay. I donate clothes. I have a shelter in South Dallas, Dallas International Street Church. Pastor Karen Dudley is the pastor.
Right.
And she opens up this church, and homeless people are everywhere. So I partner with her for Thanksgiving.
Basically partner with someone that has
that's doing
track record.
Okay. Because I'm not going to stand there and say, are you really homeless? Do you know? Okay, I'm not going to do that. But I know that the people that come through this church, I partner with her. So I take clothes over. Right. For Thanksgiving, I'll take food over. And for Christmas, I haven't done it yet. I'm coming. Okay. But I'll take food over to help out to feed the homeless.
Okay.
And in that respect, I'm still doing what God told me to do. I don't have to stop every 5 minutes on the street. Here's $5. Here's $2. Here's $2 because I can give you a fish and I'm gonna feed you for one day.
Right.
But if I teach you how to fish, I'm gonna feed you for life. So help somebody else that's helping somebody else.
Right.
That makes sense. And like what I know at our school, we happen to be one of the campuses that have a high homelessness population. One way that we ask people to help, and I think I put on Facebook, is we need uniform tops because we want them to look like everybody else. So if you can donate, that's one way that we help with the homelessness. Homeless is to be able to they can go to the closet and they'll come out. And so only people that know they're homeless, unless they go around telling people, and I've never heard that, It's we're looking on our roster and we know who's in our room that's homeless. But the point is, you're able to, they blend in because they need that stability.
Right.
No, we don't like homelessness. There are a lot of things going on in life, but the Bible is clear. We're going to have those people that are going to be poor among us. But we can also live in harmony by helping. That's what I was asking you. How can we help? What can we do?
As simple as that. The bridge is downtown, Dallas Love Foundation, Salvation Army. Don't go by the people when you see Salvation Army outside of the Walmart.
Don't go by them.
Don't just go by and don't drop any money in the little kettle.
Put some money in the
kettle. You know, we have a tendency, they're going to be there every year. They're there for a reason.
Okay.
And Salvation Army is doing a wonderful job. They really are. I mean, they're bringing the homeless in, they're feeding them, and we're talking every day. So don't just go by and say, okay, I'll give something.
But they need a swipe, because I don't have cash. Now you're making me feel guilty, because I've passed about 10 since they've been there. They've been there since November.
Oh, my God. They need a swipe.
They need a swipe.
I hardly carry cash.
Lord.
I don't have cash. Now you made me feel, okay, you know what? The next one, I'm going to go get some cash, and I'm going to make up for the other 10 that
I always keep change in my car. Because I never will forget back, when my son was little, I needed the Salvation Army.
Right.
And they were there for me. You know, I was there. They didn't ask me no questions. How you do that? You know, I went over, and this was back in the 90s, but they gave me groceries, and I never forgot that. So I would,
That's why you have a heart for them. Finally.
Oh, okay.
20 years of friendship. Finally figured it out. Goodness.
Okay.
The donating thing is really good. Now I give a lot of stuff away. A lot.
Yes.
I give clothes everywhere. I do take food to people. I mean, I do that. That means more to me than trying to figure out, are you telling me the truth or are you really game on me?
You don't have to figure it out.
I just take clothes.
I don't have time to figure it out. I'm going to help somebody else that's helping somebody else.
Okay, that makes sense.
Salvation Army, when they standing out there outside of Walmart, find some change, put it in there for them. Dallas Life Foundation, The Bridge, Dallas International Street Church. There's so many places that you can donate and give. Thrift stores. That's how they sell stuff in thrift stores.
Right. Okay.
You give away. But before we close our topic, I would like to give a number out.
Okay.
Excuse me. If you're homeless, if you're living in a shelter, on the streets, in a vehicle, we forgot to talk about that. How many people are living?
It kept coming to my mind, and I forgot. In their vehicle.
So many, because you're still homeless if you're living in a car.
Right.
Do you know you're homeless if you're living in those like Motel 6?
Yes.
And I forgot the other ones. Those
Super 8, Mosaic.
If you're living in those are considered homeless, even though you're living there because they're week to week. Pretty much they day to day.
And they can put you out at any time.
There you go.
You're still homeless.
Right.
So, are in a place unfit. Metroplex Dallas Homeless Alliance. The number is 972-638-5600. Give them a call and see, they can help you find some solutions to your problems, get you off the street. It's not just about the holidays, it's about any time.
Right.
We are our brother's keeper.
And even if you're not in Dallas, 211 across Texas.
Yes.
211 to let you locate the nearest, whatever it is you need, but we're talking homelessness today, and they'll help you notice it, help you notify you of where you can go in order to get the help that you need.
Because nobody wants you living in that situation.
Nobody.
That's not a home. I don't care how you have a tent and you under the bridge, that's just not a home.
Right.
Exactly.
And nobody should have to live like that. So.
Well, we hope that this subject has enlightened a lot of people about the homeless. We really need to do more. And like Denise was saying, if you don't want to deal with them on your own, just donate.
Right.
You outgrow your clothes, your kids outgrow their clothes, just send it off to someone who may need it. I'm really good at that. And so,
Mona, my staunch rule is, if it's in my closet, if I haven't worn it a year, it's got to go.
It's got to go. And as we close, whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord.
Praise
there
the Lord.
You go. Well, we thank you for this, and we hope to see you next time.